Sarah looked at the Forbes magazine with her face on the cover. Youngest female CEO owns 5 companies. She quickly burned it in the fire. For the next 3 months, nobody could know who she really was. Her grandmother's will was clear. Find true love as a poor woman, or lose everything. The flames consumed her image, her success story, her entire identity. 5 companies, hundreds of employees, millions in the bank. All of it had to remain hidden. 3 months, she whispered to herself, watching the last piece of the magazine turn to ash. 3 months to find someone who will love Sarah the nobody, not Sarah the millionaire. The next morning, Sarah woke up in her luxurious penthouse. Her phone buzzed with messages from CEOs, investors, and business partners. She ignored them all. Today was the first day of her new life. She drove her Mercedes to a poor neighborhood, parked it in a hidden garage she had rented, and walked to a public toilet with a plastic bag. Inside the bag was a worn cleaning uniform she had bought from a second-hand market. As she changed, she looked at herself in the cracked mirror. The woman staring back at her looked tired, poor, desperate for work. Perfect. She walked 3 blocks to the Adeyemi mansion, her fake worn slippers making her feet hurt. At the gate, she met other job seekers, all hoping to get work as cleaners in the wealthy neighborhood. "Next," Madame Adeyemi's sharp voice called out. Sarah entered the lavish living room, keeping her head down. Madame Adeyemi looked her up and down with disgust. "What's your name?" "Sarah, ma." "Sarah what? Don't you have a surname?" "Just Sarah, ma." "Where are you from?" "A small village, ma. You wouldn't know it." "Can you read and write?" "Small, ma." Madame Adeyemi sighed. "At least you look strong enough to scrub floors. You'll be on probation for 1 month. Any stealing, and I'll have you arrested. Understood?" "Yes, ma. Thank you, ma." As Sarah left with the other hired cleaners, she heard Madame Adeyemi tell her friend on the phone. "These poor people, they're all the same. Desperate and grateful for crumbs. At least they're cheap labor." Sarah was assigned to work with Agnes, an older woman who had been cleaning at the mansion for 5 years. Agnes showed her around, teaching her the family's preferences. "The madam likes her floors so shiny she can see her face," Agnes explained. "The master barely notices us. Just stay out of his way. The daughter, Funke, she's always on that phone, making those videos. Be careful around her, she films everything." "What about the son?" Sarah asked. Agnes smiled. "David? He's different. Kind boy. Just returned from studying abroad. He actually says good morning to us, not like the others." As they cleaned, Agnes shared her own story. "I have a daughter in university, engineering. This job pays her fees. What about you, Sarah? Any children?" "No, ma. No family at all." Agnes patted her shoulder. "Then we are your family now. Us cleaners, we look after each other." That night, as Sarah lay on the thin mattress in the servants' quarters, she remembered her grandmother's last moments. Mama Adunni had built an empire from nothing. Starting with selling ground nuts on the street, she had built 5 successful companies. But on her deathbed, she held Sarah's hand with surprising strength. "My child, I have watched you work day and night. You have inherited my business mind, but you haven't inherited my wisdom about love." "Mama, what do you mean?" "Your parents married for love and died happy though poor. I married for business and died rich but alone. You, my child, must find the balance. Promise me something." "Anything, Mama." "For 3 months, live as a poor woman. Hide everything. Find someone who will love Sarah the person, not Sarah the millionaire. If you succeed, everything is yours. If you fail, if you choose money over love, everything goes to charity. But Mama, promise me. I promise, Mama. 2 weeks into the job, Sarah was cleaning the library when she heard someone playing the piano. The melody was beautiful, but sad. She peeked into the music room and saw David, his fingers dancing across the keys. He stopped suddenly. I know someone's there. You can come in. Sarah entered shyly. I'm sorry, sir. I was just cleaning. You don't have to call me sir. I'm David. He looked at her curiously. You're new here. Yes, sir. I mean, David. Do you like music? I love it. Can you play? Sarah almost said yes. She had trained in classical piano for 10 years, but she caught herself. No, I just like listening. David smiled. Then listen. This piece always reminded me that money can't buy happiness. My grandfather wrote it when he was poor, but in love. As he played, Sarah felt tears forming. The melody spoke of love, loss, and hope. Funke burst into the library with her phone, live streaming as always. Guys, this is where the magic happens. Our library has over 2,000 books that nobody reads. She turned the camera and caught David and Sarah. Oh, look! My brother with the help. David, say hi to my followers. David frowned. Funke, stop. What? I'm just showing them our life. She focused on Sarah. And this is, what's your name again? Sarah turned away from the camera. Please, I don't want to be filmed. Camera shy? Come on, my followers want to see everyone. David stood up angrily. Funke, she said no. Respect people's privacy. Privacy? She's a cleaner. What privacy does she need? She's a human being. That's all that matters. Funke rolled her eyes and left, but not before whispering loud enough for her live stream. My brother is so weird, defending the help like they matter. Chief Adeyemi rarely interacted with the domestic staff, but one day he called Sarah to his study. Several business documents were scattered on his desk. You can read, can't you? He asked. Small, sir. I need these files organized by date. Can you do that? Sarah looked at the documents. Complex merger agreements, international contracts, financial projections. She could analyze them in seconds, but she pretended to struggle. As she slowly organized them, she noticed a major error in one contract that would cost Chief Adeyemi millions. She hesitated. Should she say something? Sir, this paper here. The number looks wrong. Chief Adeyemi grabbed the document and studied it. His eyes widened. You're right. This is... How did you notice this? My grandmother used to say, when zeros are plenty, count them twice, Sarah lied. Chief Adeyemi stared at her for a long moment. Your grandmother sounds like a wise woman. What was her name? Sarah's heart raced. She was just a village woman, sir. Thank you, Sarah. You just saved me from a costly mistake. One weekend, Sarah was at the local market buying food with her meager wages when she ran into Michael, her company's CFO. Her heart stopped. Michael stared at her. Ms. Okafor? Is that you? Sarah quickly affected a confused look. Sorry, sir. You're mistaking me for someone. No, I'm sure it's... Wait, you're dressed like... I'm just a cleaner, sir. Maybe this Ms. Okafor looks like me. They say everyone has a twin somewhere. Michael looked uncertain. The resemblance is uncanny. Ms. Okafor is the CEO of... CEO? Sarah laughed. Sir, look at me. Do I look like a CEO to you? Michael laughed too. You're right. I'm sorry, it's just... Never mind. Have a good day. As he walked away, Sarah's hands shook. That was too close. David found himself looking for excuses to be wherever Sarah was cleaning. He would bring his laptop to different rooms, pretending to work while they talked. "Sarah, can I ask you something personal?" "Of course." "Why don't you have any family?" Sarah had prepared for this question. "My parents died when I was young. My grandmother raised me, but she passed away recently." "I'm sorry. That must be lonely." "It is, but I've learned that family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who choose to care about you." David moved closer. "I care about you, Sarah." "David, please. Your mother would—" "I don't care what my mother thinks. You should. I'm nobody. I have nothing." "You have a beautiful heart. That's everything to me." Madame Adeyemi had noticed her son's interest in the cleaner. She confronted Sarah while she was cleaning the kitchen. "I know what you're trying to do," she hissed. "Ma? Don't play innocent with me. You're trying to seduce my son. You think you can rise from your poverty by trapping him." "No, Ma, I would never—" Madame Adeyemi slapped her. "Listen carefully. If I see you talking to my son again, I will not only fire you, I will make sure you never work in this city again. I know people. I can destroy your life with one phone call." Sarah held her cheek, tears in her eyes. "Yes, Ma." "Good. Now get back to work." Agnes found Sarah crying in the storage room. "What happened, child?" Sarah told her about Madame Adeyemi's threat. Agnes hugged her. "That woman is wicked. But you know what? I've seen how David looks at you. That boy is in love." "It doesn't matter. We're from different worlds." Agnes laughed softly. "You know, there's something different about you, Sarah. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak when you forget to pretend. You're not really from a village, are you?" Sarah's heart raced. "I don't know what you mean." "It's okay. We all have our secrets. But let me tell you something. True love doesn't care about class or money. If that boy loves you and you love him, fight for it." Chief Adeyemi was hosting important business partners for dinner. All the cleaners were working extra hours to prepare. During the dinner, one of the guests started discussing a new technology venture. "The African market is untapped," the man said. "But we need local partners who understand both traditional business and modern technology." Sarah was serving drinks when she heard this. Without thinking, she muttered, "Blockchain integration with mobile money would work." Everyone turned to stare at her. She had spoken in her CEO voice, confident and clear. "What did you say?" the businessman asked. Sarah panicked. I heard it on the radio, sir. Sorry for interrupting." But the businessman was intrigued. "No. Explain what you mean." Chief Adeyemi watched carefully as Sarah nervously explained a sophisticated business strategy, pretending she was just repeating what she heard somewhere. "This is brilliant," the businessman exclaimed. "Chief, where did you find this girl?" "She's just our cleaner," Chief Adeyemi said slowly, studying Sarah with new eyes. Funke couldn't stand how everyone was suddenly interested in Sarah. First her brother, then her father, and now even business guests were praising the cleaner. She called her boyfriend Tony. "I need you to investigate this Sarah girl. Something is off about her." "Baby, why do you care about a cleaner?" "Just do it! Check everything. Social media, Google, everything." Tony started searching, but Sarah had been careful. All her photos online were from business magazines where she looked completely different. Designer suits, professional makeup, different hairstyle. But then Tony found something. "Baby, there's a CEO named Sarah Okafor who looks similar. Send me everything." One evening, Heavy rain trapped David and Sarah in the garden shed. As they waited for it to pass, David couldn't hold back anymore. "Sarah, I need to tell you something." "David, please." "No, let me speak. I love you. I've loved you from the first day we talked. You're different from anyone I've ever met." "David, you don't know me." "I know enough. I know you're kind, intelligent, beautiful inside and out. I know you treat everyone with respect. I know you have wisdom beyond your circumstances. Your mother will never accept me. Then I'll leave. I'll give up everything. We can start fresh somewhere else." Sarah's tears mixed with the rain. "You would give up your inheritance for me?" "I would give up the world for you." "David, I need to tell you something." Thunder crashed, and the lights went out. 2.5 months had passed. Sarah knew her time was running out. She had only 2 weeks left to complete Mama Adunni's challenge. David had planned everything perfectly. He convinced his parents to go out for the evening and dismissed most of the staff. He led Sarah to the garden, which he had decorated with lights and flowers. "David, what is this?" He got on one knee. "Sarah, I know we're from different worlds. I know my family doesn't approve, but I don't care about any of that. You've shown me what real happiness is. Will you marry me?" Sarah's heart broke. She wanted to say yes more than anything, but if she did now, before revealing the truth, she would lose everything Mama Adunni left her. The will was clear. She had to refuse any proposal until the 3 months were complete. "David, I can't." His face fell. "Why? Is it my family?" "No, it's complicated." "Then explain it to me." "I can't, not yet. Please, just give me 2 more weeks." 2 weeks for what?" "To tell you everything. Please, if you really love me, wait 2 weeks. David stood up, hurt and confused. "You're asking me to wait, but you won't tell me why?" "I'm begging you. 2 weeks, and everything will make sense." Funke had been obsessing over the photos Tony sent. The CEO, Sarah Okafor, did look similar to their cleaner, but it seemed impossible. Then she found a video, a business conference where Sarah Okafor was speaking. The voice was identical. She ran to her parents' room. "Mom! Dad, you need to see this!" But they were still out. Only David was home, in his room, depressed about Sarah's rejection. Funk decided this was perfect. She would expose Sarah during her live stream and humiliate her. She started streaming. "Guys, you're about to witness the scandal of the century. Our cleaner has been lying to us." She crept toward the servants' quarters where Sarah was resting, her phone camera rolling. 3, 2, 1. Funke counted down for her viewers before bursting into Sarah's room. Sarah jumped up, startled. "Funke, what are you doing? I'm exposing you, you fraud." She held up her phone, showing the Forbes article to her camera. "Look at this, everyone. Our cleaner is actually Sarah Okafor, CEO of 5 companies. Sarah's blood ran cold. "Funke, please, let me explain." "Explain what? That you've been lying to us? Pretending to be poor? What kind of sick game are you playing?" David, hearing the commotion, rushed in. "What's going on?" Funk shoved her phone in his face. "Your precious cleaner is actually a millionaire. She's been playing us all." David stared at the screen, then at Sarah. The resemblance was undeniable once you looked closely. "Sarah, is this true?" Sarah's shoulders slumped in defeat. She had only 2 weeks left, but it was over. "Yes, it's true." The entire household gathered in the living room. Chief and Madame Adeyemi had rushed back after seeing Funke's live stream. Sarah stood before them all, no longer pretending to be meek. "My name is Sarah Okafor. I'm the CEO of 5 companies, Okafor Technologies, Okafor Innovations, Okafor Retail, Okafor Properties, and Okafor Foundation. My grandmother, Mama Adunni, built this empire from nothing." Madame Adeyemi's entire demeanor changed. "Oh, my dear, why didn't you tell us? Please, sit down. Funk, get her some water." "Stop," Sarah said firmly. "This is exactly why I didn't tell you. Look how you're treating me now versus 5 minutes ago." Chief Adeyemi leaned forward. "But why pretend to be a cleaner?" Sarah explained about the will, the 3-month challenge, and her search for true love. David stood up, his face a mix of hurt and anger. "So I was just a test? A game to you? No, David, my feelings for you are real." "How can I believe anything you say now?" "Because I said no to your proposal. If I just wanted to pass the test, I would have said yes. But I couldn't do that to you. I wanted you to know the truth first." Madame Adeyemi immediately switched into business mode. "Well, this changes everything. David, you must marry her immediately. Think of the business opportunities." "Mother!" David exclaimed, disgusted. Chief Adeyemi was already calculating. 5 companies. Ms. Okafor, perhaps we could discuss a merger." Sarah looked at them with contempt. "This is exactly what my grandmother warned me about. People who only see money, not humanity." Funke, still live streaming, tried to save face. "I mean, I always knew something was special about her." "Stop lying, Funke," Sarah cut her off. "Your viewers saw everything. How you treated me, how you all treated me when you thought I was poor." The comments on Funke's live stream were brutal. "The family is so fake. Gold diggers. The cleaner has more class than all of them. Funke is cancelled." Agnes, who had been watching from the doorway, stepped forward. "May I say something?" she asked. Madame Adeyemi waved dismissively. "This doesn't concern you." "Actually, it does," Agnes said firmly. "I've worked here for 5 years. I've watched how you treat people you consider beneath you. Sarah may have been pretending to be poor, but she treated me with more respect in 2 months than you have in 5 years." "How dare you?" Madame Adeyemi started. "She's right," David interrupted. "Sarah proved something important. She showed us who we really are, and I'm ashamed of what I see." That night, David couldn't sleep. He thought about everything, how Sarah had refused his proposal to protect him from the truth, how she had endured his mother's slaps and insults, how she had connected with Agnes and the other workers. He realized that his hurt came from pride, not from Sarah's deception. She had done what she needed to find genuine love. And hadn't he fallen in love with her when she had nothing? The next morning, he went to find her, but Sarah had already left. Agnes told him she had returned to her real home. "She left this for you," Agnes said, handing him a letter. "Dear David, I'm sorry for the deception, but I'm not sorry for loving you. You showed me that true love exists when you were willing to give up everything for a cleaner. That was all I needed to know. If you can forgive me, find me. If not, I understand." Love, Sarah Funke's live stream had gone viral, but not in the way she wanted. She lost hundreds of thousands of followers overnight. Brands canceled their sponsorship deals. She became a meme, the face of privilege and cruelty. She tried to do damage control, posting apology videos, but the internet was unforgiving. Comments flooded in. "You treated her like trash when she was poor. This is why we can't stand rich kids. Sarah had more class as a cleaner than you'll ever have." Her parents were also facing backlash. Chief Adeyemi's business partners were questioning his judgment. Some even canceled deals, not wanting to be associated with the scandal. Sarah was in her real bedroom, surrounded by luxury but feeling empty, when she fell asleep and dreamed of Mama Adunni. "My child, why are you sad? You completed the task." "But I lost David in the process, Mama." "Did you? Or did you gain something more valuable, the truth about who really loves you?" He was hurt by my deception. Pride is a wound that heals with time. Love is a foundation that lasts forever. Which do you think David feels? I don't know anymore. Then let him show you. But first you must decide. Will you hide behind your walls, or will you be vulnerable enough to let him in completely? David stood outside Sarah's real company building, a gleaming tower with her name on it. The security stopped him. "I need to see Ms. Okafor." "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but then I'm sorry, sir. Ms. Okafor isn't taking visitors." David refused to give up. He waited outside for hours. Employees came and went, all professionally dressed, all calling Sarah Ma with deep respect. This was her world, one he never knew existed. Finally, Michael, the CFO, recognized him from Funky's viral video. "You're David, aren't you?" "Yes. Please, I need to see her." Michael studied him. "You know, she talked about you, even before all this happened. She said she met someone who saw her as human, not as a bank account. I love her. I don't care about her money." "Prove it." Michael led David inside, but not to Sarah's office. Instead, he took him to a conference room. "Ms. Okafor wants to be sure your feelings are genuine. She's willing to give up everything for love, but are you?" "What do you mean?" "Sign this." Michael placed a document in front of him. It was a prenuptial agreement stating that David would have no claim to any of Sarah's wealth, companies, or assets, present or future. If they married, he would gain nothing financially. David read it and laughed. "Is this what she's worried about?" He signed it without hesitation. "I fell in love with a cleaner. The CEO part is just details." Sarah entered the conference room dressed in a power suit, looking every inch the CEO she was. This was the real Sarah, confident, powerful, commanding. "You signed it," she said. "I would sign 1,000 documents if it means being with you." "David, I need you to understand something. This is who I am. I run companies. I make million-dollar decisions. I can't pretend to be less than I am." "I don't want you to. I fell in love with your heart, your spirit. The cleaner, the CEO, they're both you. Your family will never accept this version of me. Then they'll lose me. I choose you, Sarah, all of you." David brought Sarah to his family home, but this time she came as herself, in her car, with her security, dressed as the powerful woman she was. Madame Adeyemi tried to fawn over her. "Sarah, dear, we're so sorry for the misunderstanding." "There was no misunderstanding," Sarah said coldly. "You showed me exactly who you are. You slapped me. You threatened me. You treated me as less than human because you thought I was poor." Chief Adeyemi tried to salvage the situation. "That's all in the past. We're family now." "No, we're not. Not yet. If David and I marry, it will be despite you, not because of you. And there will be conditions." "Conditions?" Madame Adeyemi asked, offended. "Yes. You will treat every worker in this house with respect. You will pay them fairly. You will apologize to each one personally for your past behavior. And Funke will work as an intern at one of my companies to learn the value of honest work." Funke had lost everything. Her followers, her sponsors, her reputation. She came to Sarah's office, humbled. "I know you hate me," Funke started. "I don't hate you. I pity you. I've lost everything." "No, you've lost the fake things. Now you have a chance to find what's real. Will you really give me a job? Not give. You'll earn it. You'll start at the bottom, actual cleaning. You'll understand what it feels like to be invisible, to be looked down upon. Then maybe you'll learn empathy. Funke was shocked. You want me to be a cleaner? For 3 months, the same time I spent cleaning your house. After that, if you've learned anything, you can move to other departments. That's humiliating. No, it's humbling. There's a difference. 6 months later, wedding preparations were underway. Sarah insisted on inviting all the domestic workers from the Adeyemi household as honored guests. Agnes was her matron of honor. I never thought I'd see the day, Agnes said, helping Sarah with her dress. You knew, didn't you, who I really was? Agnes smiled. I suspected. But it didn't matter. You were kind to me. That's all that mattered. The wedding planner suggested a lavish venue, but Sarah had other ideas. I wanted at the community center my grandmother built, where she started teaching women to read and write. David supported her fully. It's perfect. Mama Adunni's legacy should be part of our beginning. The community center was transformed, but maintained its humble charm. Rich and poor sat together, CEOs next to cleaners, ministers next to market women. Chief Adeyemi gave a speech, acknowledging his mistakes. I once thought wealth determined worth. My son and his bride taught me otherwise. Madame Adeyemi, who had spent months learning to treat workers with respect, personally served drinks to Agnes and the other domestic workers. Funke, who had completed her 3 months of cleaning and was now working in marketing, spoke about her transformation. I used to live for likes and follows. Now I live for purpose and growth. Sarah stood before the guests, radiant in her simple but elegant dress. My grandmother, Mama Adunni, started with nothing. She sold groundnuts on the street. But she built an empire, not through deceiving others, but through hard work and integrity. Her last wish was that I find love that transcends material wealth. For 3 months, I lived as a cleaner. I was slapped, insulted, and threatened, but I also found kindness in unexpected places. Agnes, who shared her lunch with me when I pretended to have none. David, who saw me as human when others saw me as furniture. Today, I'm announcing the Mama Adunni Foundation for Workers' Dignity. Every domestic worker in this city will have access to education, health care, and business grants. Because no one should be invisible. No one should be considered less than human because of their job. The crowd erupted in applause. Sarah's lawyer stepped forward with one final announcement. There was one more condition in Mama Adunni's will that Ms. Okafor didn't know about. If she found true love and chose to share her wealth for the betterment of others, a final trust would be released. He handed Sarah an envelope. Inside was the deed to properties across Africa and a letter from Mama Adunni. My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, you've learned the greatest lesson, that wealth means nothing without love and purpose. The properties in this envelope are located in the poorest communities across Africa. Build schools, hospitals, and community centers. Create a legacy of love, not just money. Your grandmother who loves you beyond the grave. Mama Adunni 5 years past. The Mama Adunni centers had opened in 12 countries. Thousands of domestic workers had started their own businesses through the foundation's grants. Funke, now a changed person, ran the foundation's social media, using her influence to highlight stories of transformation. She had married a teacher, someone her old self would have looked down upon, and was genuinely happy. Agnes's daughter had graduated as an engineer and started her own company with a grant from the foundation. Agnes now managed one of the community centers, teaching young women business skills. Chief and Madame Adeyemi had sold their mansion and moved to a modest home. They discovered that respect from others meant more than fear, and genuine friendships were worth more than business connections. Sarah stood in her office, looking at a photo of Mama Adunni. David entered with their twin daughters, both 3 years old. "Telling them the story again?" David asked, noticing Sarah looking at the photo. "They should know their great-grandmother's legacy." One of the twins, little Adunni, asked, "Mama, were you really a cleaner?" "Yes, my dear, and it was the most important job I ever had." "Why?" "Because it taught me that every person has value regardless of their job. The person who cleans your school is just as important as your teacher." The other twin, Amara, added, "We should be kind to everyone." "Exactly." David hugged his family. "Your grandmother would be proud." Sarah looked out the window at the city below. Somewhere out there, a cleaner was heading home after a long day's work. Somewhere, a CEO was counting their millions. But here, in this moment, Sarah had found the balance Mama Adunni had spoken of: love, purpose, and the wisdom to know that true wealth isn't measured in money, but in the lives you touch. Years later, when Sarah's daughters were grown, they found a letter Mama Adunni had written but never sent. "To my future great-grandchildren, your mother will have told you about the test I gave her. But the truth is, she was never being tested. I already knew her heart. The test was for everyone around her, to reveal their true nature. The world will try to tell you that money is power, but real power is in kindness, in lifting others, in seeing the humanity in everyone. Never forget, the cleaner and the CEO are equal in God's eyes. Treat them as such. Love always, Mama Adunni." Sometimes the richest person in the room is the one holding the mop. Sometimes the poorest is the one counting their millions. True wealth is measured not in bank accounts, but in the love you give and receive. Never judge by appearances, for you might miss the angel disguised as a cleaner or the devil dressed in designer clothes. Dear viewers, what lessons did you learn from this story? Remember, everyone deserves respect, regardless of their position in life. Love sees no class, and true wealth is in the heart. If you were moved by this story, if you admired Sarah's courage and Mama Adunni's wisdom, please don't forget to like and share the video. Perhaps you too can offer a smile, a thank you, or an appreciation today to someone who thinks they are invisible in your life. A small act of kindness can change someone's entire day. Don't forget to subscribe to the African Folktales Plus channel. Every week, we're back with new stories, life lessons, and inspirational narratives. See you in our next story. Remember, the person who does your cleaning today could be the person who will change your life tomorrow. Treat everyone equally, because the real value is in the heart, not in the wallet. God bless you all.